the Thomas and Edward, the marvelous throwing podcast.
In the words of Jim Carrey from Truman Show, good morning, good evening, and good night. Is that right?
Yeah, but you shouldn't you say that at the end?
Oh yeah, but I'm saying good morning. What I'm saying is because this can be listened to at any time, anywhere around the world, simultaneously, it's somewhere the morning for someone and somewhere the evening.
Clearly, it can be recorded at any time, according to you as well, because we meant to record in the evening last night, but now it's the morning the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wonder when this podcast is going to come out, it could be in the morning, the evening, or the night.
I'm just going to go through some texts. I don't have to go too far back.
So I'll edit this out. It's fine.
Well, maybe I'll edit it.
No, you're not editing. In fact, my first question, Tom, what happened?
What do you mean?
Last week's episode, what happened?
Well, you left it to me to do.
If you listen to last week's episode, it got to 18 minutes in, and then it just is Tom at 4 a.m, scrolling through the episode, trying to get to 20 minutes, because I said, ideally it'll be 20 minutes. So then you just got here, Tom, you can hear it in his voice. He's absolutely shattered, just recording anything to get to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like you followed the letter of the law rather than the principle of the law.
Well, I didn't do either. I did a job that you were supposed to do, and yet again didn't do.
I did it, and then right. Let's just move on. Tom, I just want to start by continuing this one cap quiz that we're doing. So the answer to this question is someone who's had one cap for England. Okay, just one cap. And I'm going to give you 5 clues. The sooner you get it, the better. So clue 1. He became the most expensive footballer in English football at the time when he signed for £5 million in July 1994. I think you could get it from this.
Chris Sutton. Wait.
That's ruined the rest of the podcast because, yes, it's correct straight away.
Is it Chris Sutton?
Yeah.
I'm so smart. Right, well, I've obviously significantly shortened that whole thing because you made it too easy. So I suppose in response, we could just talk about Newcastle last night. Did you watch it? I didn't. You had to pay £10 to go to the official...
Yeah, I know, the Carabao Cup live streaming or something. Yeah. No, I didn't watch it, but Ryan Fraser scored, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And we've won the first 2 games of the season and have not conceded a goal. So what's going on? I mean, the last 3 seasons we've gone out at the Carabao Cup straight away in that round.
Well, we also haven't won a Premier League first game of the season in something like 9 years.
2012, Hatem Ben Arfa scored a penalty against Spurs and we won. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. Is Steve Bruce a genius? I mean, I've been saying this for about 2 years, but...
No, he's not a genius. He's good. He's if we've managed 1,000 Premier League games or whatever he's done.
Well, you do realise that you said that if the takeover happens, we should get rid of him. Who would we have now?
That's because if the takeover happened, we'd be in league with such a level of evil that we may as well just act like it and just be horrible and just sack everyone and make all the difficult decisions. Now that we haven't been taken over by Project Evil, I don't feel that bad about it. And also, my team, I think I sent it to you, a realistic 11. And it had up front, it was Callum Wilson and Luka Jovic from Real Madrid, which we obviously didn't get. But then it was Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis, and then Max Aarons was the other one. So the level of players we've been getting is what I was expecting anyway. Other than we were going to get these players and then we'd get Edison Cavani at 33 or Luis Suarez and spend loads of money.
Higuain, yeah, he's gone on a free.
Yeah, obviously quality, but they're not going to be quality for us at this stage of their career. So actually, I don't know. I mean, Jamal Lewis because this is the other thing. I think Ashley's realised that the value of all the players has gone down. You may as well buy now. It's going to go back up, and then he can not spend for a year and a bit, and he can say, "Well, I did then. Look."
Well, Callum Wilson, a couple of seasons ago, before he got an injury or something, he was linked with Chelsea for 50 million.
No, it wasn't before the injury. He had 2 injuries in a row, and then
came back.
It was that season when he got forward, when he had that partnership with Fraser. Yeah, but that was the ridiculous. That was when a year later, we bought Gillington for 40 million. So that's sort of...
Well, Mike Ashley is suing the Premier League now. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So the takeover didn't go through. Mike Ashley said it's not fair. So he's hired the same lawyers that Man City had to overturn their European ban.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Big deal. It's going to be a pretty big thing. It's going to be quite fun.
So does that mean it could it still go ahead then?
Well, if the Court of Arbitration for Sport or whatever they're called say that the Premier League shouldn't have blocked it, then it will happen, yeah. But that'll probably be 2 years of legal battles and probably get relegated between now and then it'll all fall apart or something. I don't know. Tom, have you ever been to a beer festival?
15 times a month.
15 times you've been to beer festival. Well, you'll know then, Tom, as a keen beer festival fan, that Oktoberfest is cancelled this year. So what you...
Yeah!
Yeah, I know, it's awful, okay? It might be cancelled, but our sponsors, Beerhawk, are still celebrating the world's most famous beer festival in style. Bring the party home this year and celebrate with their range of Oktoberfest beery packs, from a festival newbie pack through to their full-blown throw a socially distanced mini festival of no more than 6 party pack. Beerhawk, our sponsors, started with a mission in 2012 to bring delicious beer to the homes of discerning drinkers across the country. And here they are, 7 years later, still pushing that very same mission. It's actually 8 years later. The website is below, and you can get 10% off all these things by using our code THROWINPOD. All the links will be below. They're very good. Have a beer on us, not on us. Get 10% on us.
Do you know what? I don't even like beer, and yet I love Beerhawk. Drink Beerhawk responsibly, please. Ed, I spoke this week with a friend, Lloyd Griffith, and basically it's the first in a little section where I'm going to be asking people that claim they're football fans about their team. The section I think at the moment is called "So You Say You Support, Do You?" And then we'll do a jingle and then doodle-doodle-doom, and then I ask the questions. I haven't put any of the graphics on the credit. If you could put all the sort of sound effects on, that'd be great. But basically, this is it. Lloyd Griffith.
Welcome to So You Say You Support, Do You? With me, Thomas Gray. This week, my first guest is Lloyd Griffith.
Lloyd Griffith, welcome to the...
It's Griffith. It's Griffith singular.
Right.
Griffith. How many years has it been?
But there's two... Okay, so technically it's Griffith, because there's so many F's.
Yeah.
Okay, start again. Lloyd Griffith, welcome to the Marvellous Throwing podcast. It's great to have you, man. How are you?
Hi, Thomas. Thanks very much for having me. Big fan of the podcast.
Oh, thanks very much. Last time I saw you playing cricket, I did quite well, didn't I?
Well, this is the thing with you. You always claim to be amazing at absolutely everything, including football, which is why I invited you to 2 games, one of which was in a proper stadium.
Yeah.
And it turned out those stories of you having trials for 17 Premier League clubs are actually false.
Yeah.
And you were just an absolutely average third-team Sunday League player.
Yeah.
But got away with it with your charm. And then when we played cricket and you were pestering Tom Rosenthal, son of Jim Rosenthal, to bowl, we were like, I mean, no offense, but Thomas Gray probably like can't bowl. And then you were genuinely incredible, and we all lost our tiny minds.
I know. I'm up there. Anyway, man, it's good to see you. Star of Ted Lasso. Lasso?
Lasso, yeah. Star is generous. When I'm in 4 scenes over 4 episodes, I mean, that's it's not Star, but I'm taking it. But I haven't watched it yet. However, it has been very, very well received, and it's getting a lot of praise. So I'm looking forward to watching it. That's the plan.
It's got a second series or so.
Yeah. I'm trying my dear best to get on that second sweet series.
Yeah, because the frustrating thing with football films is as soon as you see someone kick a ball and you can tell they're not a footballer, it ruins the whole thing. Yeah. And obviously, as you've just alluded to, I'm obviously very good at football. Yeah. Do you think if I sent you a tape or something, you could give it to Sudeikis or?
It's every man for himself, and I'm sure his email is probably jasonsudeikis@gmail.com.
I actually know what Seth Rogen's is, and I won't say it out loud, but I know what it is, and it's at gmail.com. It's very surprising. It's just his name with a few numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, you are the first guest on. So you say you support, do you? You support Grimsby Town, right?
Grimsby Town, yeah, the Mighty Mariners.
Give us a little insight into your love affair with Grimsby and why you support them. Presumably because you're from there. No one chooses Grimsby.
Well, that's incorrect. Adam Richman, Man vs. Food, is from America, and he actually chose Grimsby.
Oh.
So I think you do. Sometimes you can choose Grimsby. But Milo Affair, it's a weird one. So like not to turn this into Desert Island Disc, but I grew up single parent mother, and so my mum, like, whilst Grimsby Town was a big thing in the town, it wasn't a big thing in our family. And I never used to go to games until when I was about 7 or 8. Went to a couple, but my cousins used to go to Man United every single week. So I used to go to Old Trafford quite a lot of times. My first 3 or 4 games of my Grimsby ones, I went to Man United for about a year, literally every home game.
I think when you support a low league team, you're allowed to support a Premier League team.
Well, I just was obsessed with Peter Schmeichel. That was my thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then, kind of the love affair with Grimsby grew like between the age of, I'd say 13 and now, really, kind of like when I had a better understanding of football and played quite a bit. And we were quite lucky in our school. We had John Cockrell, brother of Glenn Cockrell, but John Cockrell, a big Grimsby Town hero. He taught us football at school, so we were blessed to have an amazing football coach. Then we had Kenny Swain, who used to play for Nottingham Forest, and he used to manage us as well as managing Grimsby Town. So
what? So they'd come and teach the kids?
Yeah, mainly because like one of the kids. So Kenny's son Tom used to go to our school, and then Glenn just needed to. John Cockrell needed to get his badges, so just needed to get just kind of like teach people how to play football. So he kind of came to our school and taught us there. So it was great. And then I've just kind of supported Grimsby Town ever since. And kind of when I could go to see him to as many away games as possible. And yeah, really do love him.
Right, Lloyd, you claim you support Grimsby. I told you in preparation for this, I'm going to be asking you about the 90s. That was to throw you off the scent. I'm actually not going to be asking you about the 90s. So here we go. Lloyd, question 1.
Yeah.
What year were Grimsby Town established? 1868, 1878, or 1888? I'm just Googling it because I forgot to write the answer.
I think it's 1878.
You're going for 78?
Yeah, and I think they were established as Grimsby Pelham, not Grimsby Town.
Right. Well, you're wrong. It was 1888. However, my second question, what was their original name? So you've just smashed out the park there, which is Grimsby Pelham. So on the first and ping on the second. Question number 3.
Okay, go on. Yeah, okay.
Team's top goal scorer.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Oh my God.
I'll be impressed if you get this. We can come back to it.
I'm just trying to think who the. So like you've got your.
It is. I'll give you a clue. It's a guy in the past.
Oh, thanks, mate.
We'll come back to it, and I'll give you another clue.
Okay.
Next question. What is Grimsby's top attendance ever? Is it 22,871 against Newcastle in 1964, 31,651 against Wolves in 37, or 49,000 against Leeds in 1955? So 22, 31, or 49?
What? So what? But the highest. What, at Blundell Park?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So highest ever attendance. I think that was
22, 31, or 49.
I'm going to say 31.
Correct. Well done.
All right.
1,000.
And I'm not sure if there's another question, so I'm going to run into paid if it is. Grimsby Town actually hold the record for the largest capacity at Old Trafford, playing Wolverhampton Wanderers. Again in 1939, I think it was 79,000. I think Old Trafford. So there you go.
Well, if I'd have spent more than 5 minutes preparing this, I'd have probably come across that fact. Next question.
Go on.
Who is the record performance holder? And he played from 1987 to 2007.
John McDermott.
Correct. You're doing very well. You
can see his book on my shelf.
Next question. This is a bit obscure, but you might be able to get it. Which sportswear kit manufacturer links 1990s Grimsby and the then Premier League team whose English striker won the European Golden Boot in 2000? What question?
Can you repeat that again?
Which sportswear kit, so like, Nike or whatever, manufacturer links 1990s Grimsby, not the whole of the 90s, but 1990s Grimsby, and the then Premier League team, whose English striker won the European Golden Boot in 2000? I'll give you some time.
Is it Lotto? Ribeiro? Diodora?
So who do you think the other team is? I can give you the clue if you want, if you can't work that bit out.
Is it Spurs?
No. Kevin Phillips won the Golden Boot in 2000.
Was he wearing Diodora?
So it's Sunderland. No, the shirt of Grimsby and this team. What was the designer? Links these two teams.
So in 1990s, we had Ribeiro, Lotto, Diodora.
It's the only two teams I've ever seen with this shirt, with this make for their shirt, this design.
Sergio Tecnici?
Should I tell you?
Yeah, go on.
Avec.
Avec.
Not
Avec. Avec. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't get that.
Okay,
Avec.
last question.
That's going to kill me, yeah.
Now, this isn't about football, this is about Grimsby.
Okay.
Grimsby is well known as the centre of the UK's fishing industry. However, in 1998, the BBC reported that Grimsby made more of what than any other area in Europe?
Frozen food.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd been more it's pizza. Anyway, right, hang on, let me work out then. I'll say
wait, no, the top goal scorer. I'm still, I think I know who it is, but I think there's two or three players that make me think, I want to say Matt Tees, but I think it's either Matt Tees or...
I'll give you his first name.
Pat Glover. Is that right?
Pat Glover, yeah.
Because my mum's a massive Matt Tees fan. She used to, there was something like Dave Boyd and Matt Tees. But I know that Pat Glover has scored a lot. And,
180 goals in 9 years. Not bad.
180 goals. 180 goals in 9 years?
Yeah, apparently. 1930 to 1939, he scored 180 goals.
Oh, is he? I mean, yeah, anyone could have scored them in that time, no offence.
Yeah, well, back then. So you got the year wrong, but then you got Grimsby Pelham, you got the top goal scorer, you got the top attendance, you didn't get Avec, you got John McDermott, and you didn't get the pizza. 5 out of 7, Lloyd Griffith, well done.
Thank you very much.
Now, obviously, I scored Lloyd 5 out of 7 there. I have to confess that I've since realised that he did guess the year of his club's establishment correctly. He said 1878, and I said it wasn't, but it was. I didn't say it was. I didn't say it wasn't because I made an honest error. So he actually got 6 out of 7, and the one he didn't get was to do with pizza manufacturing in Grimsby. So in terms of his knowledge of his club, he's done very well. That
is pretty good. That puts him, I think, to the top of our leaderboard.
Let me just work it out. -6. Yeah, Lloyd's at the top. So
Lloyd's at the top. That is not bad.
Well below me, but
we've got a few other guests, hopefully, that are going to come on throughout this season. But as a first guest, that's pretty good. Have you seen Ted Lasso, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Tom, I want to just briefly talk about fantasy football. Do you know we've got 234 people in our league?
I haven't joined it yet.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
234 people. You can still join it. I'll put the link and the code below. But I'm perfectly, pretty much, in mid-table. I'm 116th, which I did deliberately, of course, to just kind of let people kind of have fun in the league and get to the top before I overtake them all. I did look to see where Tom would have been if he had joined. He'd be 147th. How do you feel you've started on fantasy football? I don't want to talk too much about it because I am doing a second podcast a week. The FPL.
140. What? 147 out of how many again?
234.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Pretty happy. Oliver Rayson is in the lead with Ole's Convicts, and he got 108 points.
He's going to love that you've said that.
Yeah, well, he got K captained Salah. He had Reece James at the back. He got like 15 points because he scored and did other things. So yeah, no, Oliver Rayson's in the lead. I do a second podcast a week because I'm a massive geek about fantasy football this season anyway. So I should be doing a lot better than I am already. But hey ho. So
Are you trying to sell your new podcast already?
It's not a new pod. No, it's not a new pod. I do it on this thing. I just do an. I've already released an episode. Did you not listen?
Yes.
This is a guy, right? Sorry, everyone. This is a guy who doesn't even listen to our podcast. I know he records it, but you'd think he'd at least like listen. One time I was like, "Have you listened to that?" He goes, "Oh, I don't listen to it afterwards." I go, "Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?"
I don't think I'm anyone. I remember having done it, and it was enjoyable at the time.
You hardly remember anything. We have conversations that the next day you go, "What? What? We didn't say that. What?" Even though we've made it so clear about what's happening when. No. You need no.
You cancelled this. By the way, this is like the 8th time you've done it, and I can't believe that you bring me up all the time. Yeah, can we do tomorrow?
That's our roles. That's our roles for this thing.
No, I'm going to find it because it's actually genuinely a little bit annoyed me. Hang on.
Okay, right. All right.
What's your name in my phone? God. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I did that once. I changed my I changed my name in my friend's phone to God when he wasn't looking, and then I texted him saying, "Go to Nazareth," and I watched his face as he read it. He was
Sunday. I have a last-minute work thing tomorrow, Eve. Can you do Tuesday, Eve? But that's fine because we had an agreement. You then said, "Will you change?" I said, "Yeah, potentially." The word I used is potentially, and then when it got to that date, the other things had changed for me, so it moved. You are the one just moves it willy-nilly the night before. So actually, I will not stand for this. Ladies
and gentlemen, we all know who's telling the truth here.
No, you're hiding behind your appearance of. Oh, I'm so cross.
This is what happens when we do it early in the morning. Tom's much more kind of highly strung, as you can tell. But if you just stop moving the dates of recording, then we wouldn't have to do it in the morning. Cheers.
I'm gonna okay, you're banned from doing this. You're banned from doing this extra podcast bit now.
Cheers. Thanks.
You can't do it.
I can do what I want. I know how to. I've got the passwords. I could change them. I could lock you out, baby. Thank you very much for joining us on the marvelous Throw-In podcast.
Is that all? Are we done?
I think
we've got the interview. Oh, yeah, it's because of the interview. Yeah, I forgot. Well, it's because we've only been talking for 6 minutes.
Well, we've got an interview, and you haven't got a question. And so then we're kind of done. I mean, there's a few more things to talk about. Please follow us on Twitter.
All right.
Throw-In-Pod. Hang on.
Why did Tottenham and Arsenal dislike each other so much?
Because they're both in North London.
Yeah, but who was there first?
Arsenal.
Tottenham. And Arsenal moved to North London, even though they were from South London. Oh. And when they did this, they then got promoted to the First Division the year that Tottenham got relegated. And from that moment on, a deep rivalry was forged in North London. There you are. There's a fact.
I got 2 facts for you, actually. Do you know Alex Song? He used to play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's got 27 siblings.
Wow.
Pretty impressive, huh?
Did you know who was that Brazilian striker that Man United signed that never bought? He was Portuguese or something. He's called Beto.
Bebeto?
No. Oh, what was he called? Bebe. Anyway,
Bebe, yeah.
Couldn't read.
But maybe that's why his name was so easy to spell.
Yeah.
Bebe. How do you spell it? Bebe.
B-E-B-E.
Hang on. Do you know Neil Armstrong originally wanted to take a football to the moon, but it was considered to be too un-American?
That's fair enough. It is too un-American. It's nothing.
You know, Football Manager was once banned in China because it, quote, threatened its content harmful to China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and it seriously violates Chinese law because the 2005 version included Taiwan and Tibet as separate countries and not part of China.
Fair enough.
Follow us on Twitter at THROWINPOD. Please look out for the FPL forecast thing that Tom is trying to silence, just like China silenced Tibet and Football Manager and all that fact a minute ago. And you can follow us on Patreon if you want to support our show. The link will be below, www.patreon.com/ThrowInPod. There'll be a new episode of Shinpad Chronicles. There's been episode 1 from Tom. There'll be a new one this week, we promise. Okay, so that will be going up. And I've also started a fantasy football blog on there. So if you want to see what I'm thinking, go on that. Tom, anything to say to our listeners?
Well, I'd just like to apologise for my a little bit tired this morning, a little bit grumpy. Didn't feel very inspired, so I'm sorry for that. I hope you enjoyed the interview bit. And as I say, if you'd like to get involved with boycotting Edward's fantasy football Premier League thing, the hashtag is boycottboxhead, and you can spread that on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Thanks for listening, guys.
Big thank you again to our guest, Lloyd Griffith. Thank you very much for that. He recorded our opening theme tune. What a voice. And if you haven't already 5-star rated the podcast on Apple Podcasts, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, then please do. I know a lot of people listen. All you have to do is tap 5-star, and it makes a big difference to us. You can even write a review, like many have, if you want to. If you're going to put 4-star, don't bother. If you're going to put 1-star, clear off. 5-star, that's great. See you next week for the next episode of the Marvellous Throw-In Podcast.
Thomas and Edward, the Marvellous Throw-In Podcast.